Hey guys, today we're playing the double plasma build on the tactical. In patch 7 of Space Marine 2, we are Prestige 4, and this kind of got pseudo buffed because now you have a plasma pistol. You get to benefit twice from your plasma overheat perk, and that's pretty neat. Now I am going to take it against my favorite punching bag, the Hive Tyrant. This is a normal solo match, no increased spawns, no true solo or anything like that, so it should be pretty easy. I mean, tactical can definitely handle pretty much anything in this game anyways. Things just crumble before you on this class. But I'm a big fan of plasma, especially in lore, so cool we kind of have like a lore accurate version of this somewhere in this game, or as lore accurate as you can expect. Where are you? As lore accurate as you can expect from a video game. Blast through these guys. I'll be taking him to an increased spawn at some point, probably on Inferno, because it's a fun map to me. Maybe Exfiltration, but Exfiltration kind of easy. A lot of easy objectives on that map. You also got guaranteed melta bombs. Okay, let's just move on up, shall we? Blast on through. Now, I do have my perks set up for like Acuity and Second Look and things like that, which really don't do anything for the build we're currently running. Which is kind of lame. I don't really think they should have a point requirement to respec your perks once you're like actually Prestige 4. It just seems really stupid to me. It's like they're just trying to make it so you have to have a money sink basically for your points, which doesn't really make sense in a game that has like no economy, because that's something that like World of Warcraft or RuneScape would do, where they put in money sinks because they want to make the value of their currency go up. But in this game, like, why? That's my real question. It's like there's no point. You're Prestige 4. Just give people the option to make the builds they want, in my opinion. I mean, that's a hot take, but I don't really think it is. Look at that plasma damage now. Holy shit. Plasma is actually an accurate weapon in terms of its standard common shots. They do kind of like to flip around, especially the plasma pistol. Not the best for shooting down spore mines. Not terrible though. Now, allegedly, the plasma pistol actually got a nerf, or the plasma stuff actually got a nerf. It was total ammo, not ammo, contested health recovery. But I haven't really noticed that all that much. I noticed it on heavy with the strategic stand perk. That's really more of a nerf to the actual perk than the plasma itself. Maybe both. Really, I think they should just bring the buff back to strategic stand, because fortitude is already amazing. There's no point in nerfing a contested health perk like that, in my opinion. They say they fixed it, but I don't really agree with Saber when they say, like, oh, we fixed it. I think they're just lying, to be honest. I know it's a conspiracy theory, but Saber probably doesn't want community outrage. This game's community is pretty casual, so if they have a bunch of players coming at them for, like, any nerf, this isn't like Darktide's community, where in Darktide, they're calling for nerfs in most cases to OP things. This community usually wants them to stay the way they are, which is fine. You know, different players want different things. But Saber wants to nerf some stuff. And I think they just don't want community backlash, and that's my conspiracy theory. Is that they just say, like, oh, this was an accident. Oh, we miscalculated it previously, when it's actually just a nerf. There we go. Let's just do this, and it should, like, one-shot them here. There we go. Look at that damage. Right in the brain. That kind of a headshot? Should. I see a lot of people are often shocked at how much damage the plasma does in this game, but you know, this is absolute difficulty. Plasma really does just slap this hard. Tactical is a damage king. Get down, Mr. President. Bailing that guy out, diving in front of him. Look at that stuff. Yeah, Plasma does shockingly high damage in this game. Heavy Plasma does even more, especially if you build into his charge attack tree now. And it also does tremendous damage to Biovores, as you'll see shortly. There we go. I still prefer the Bolt Carbine personally to Plasma. I just think that Bolt Carbine has more consistent health, contested health recovery. But Plasma is definitely top tier. Oh, let me grab this guy. Let me pop you. And then pop your friends.
Ready to scan. Pathetic tyranny.
There we go. Now they did go through like a final server maintenance, or they said they were going to do that at some point this week. Hopefully that fixed all the server issues, because this game, as far as I'm concerned, great patch, terrible matchmaking. Because I think this is the best the game's ever been at the moment, just not for its actual server issues. The balance is the best it's ever been, the classes are the best they've ever been. Even the spawns are absolute, on absolute, are the most fun they've ever been in vanilla. It's the closest thing we've gotten to like launch lethal, because as far as I'm concerned, the launch lethal with tight formation is the hardest this game has ever been in vanilla. Even Absolute wasn't that much harder, though Absolute did have fewer stims for solo. For solo. Alright, let's grab the explosive charge here. And speaking of solo, while you play solo on Decapitation, you'll only get like 3 explosive charge plants. 3 or 4. Even if you have bots. Because the game just reads like, okay, we're not going to make you do all that bullshit. Alright, let me just waste these shock grenades real quick. Bang, bang.
Explosives prepared. Pathetic tyranny of bombing.
One shot this guy. That's the power of the Auspex berry. Even with the Artificer Chainsword, you still hit a breakpoint on them pretty much all the time. Or it's like one bash into light attack or something like that. Oh, good, now you're dead. You pity the fool that is foolish enough to actually let you parry them. Now, block weapons in this game have a 0 frame startup on their perfect block, same as fencing, except it only lasts for like, I think it's 20 frames versus like 30 or 40 on the fencing weapon. I'll probably make a video on it at some point, because block weapons are the meta currently for everything outside of like Intimidating Aura on the Bulwark and like maybe the Balanced Fist, unlike some Gunstrike builds for the Assault class. And it's mainly just because they have unmatched damage. Now we're getting chewed up by Termagants. Thank God the Chainsword's contested health recovery is kind of broken. Now this current Absolute patch has definitely increased the maximum amount of Termagants that can be on screen at once, or spawned at once, I should say. Same thing, I guess, but I definitely noticed little hordes of these guys. And previously, I only ever saw that in, like, increased mod spawns or something like that. Because there are a lot of mods you can get for this game that will, like, increase the spawns beyond vanilla difficulty. And that's what a lot of challenge run players are using these days. Or people are just interested in improving their difficulty. You know, nothing's sanctioned in this game. It's all for fun. So if you want to try out, like, a harder version of Absolute, there's always an option. Which is why I don't really care too much about, like, whatever difficulty they make the base game. I don't really play on the multiplayer all that much unless I'm leveling anyways. Yeah, that's just me. I know a lot of people want the game to be harder right now and absolute justify their new prestige perks because the player characters, the player classes have kind of power crept the actual content of the game at the moment. Like even during the streams I did for absolute prestige grinding, I don't think we lost a single match even with randoms. We had one close one when we were all level 1. And that was only because we got a mean spawn too. And the rest of the mission went perfectly fine. I know Saber said they thought the absolute clear rates were a little higher than they expected initially. And part of that's just players getting better at the game. Alright, let's see this. Yeah, doing like nothing but absolute for a lot of players during their prestige grind. Pretty doable. Like, even level 1 solos in this game aren't that hard anymore. Mainly because if you know where all the Guardian Relic spawns are, and you know where all the Sims are, on the, like, the guaranteed spawns, you can pretty much turn your Sims into, like, 3 revives or something like that. Or I should say, you can basically stretch out your Sims and your Guardian Relic into, like, 3 or 4 downs. And going down 4 times in a solo match is a lot. Like, it's pretty much impossible to lose at that point unless you have, like, a serious issue. I don't want to say skill issue, but, like, that's definitely what it would be at that point. But that's okay, you know. Practice is practice. That's what all these games are. That's what all PvE games are in the first place. It's just time put in. And, like, recognizing enemy attack patterns. It's like a PvP game. Like, the enemies aren't getting progressively better at the game. You are. Unless they, like, you know, buff their damage response.
We were not expecting such illustrious company in the rear
okay.
ranks.
So this spawn right here, this is a guaranteed Medicaid Sim spawn. On this map, I think that's the only one on Decapitation. There are 2 guaranteed spawns on good old Ballistic Engine. And there's 1 on Termination. I think there's 1 on Reliquary as well.
Is this a withdrawal order? Negative. The objective is the Hive Tyrant, not the bridge. Defend this position.
On absolute difficulty, you will not get increased, like, you will not get any increased Sims. Like, Sims will spawn at ammo crates usually if you have 3 players in your game. If you only have 2 players or you only have bots, you'll get no Sims at the ammo crates. So you're pretty dependent on, like, ammo crates and such, or, like, you know, the crate spawns. You actually want Sims, so it doesn't really matter because Guardian Relic spots are pretty much the same as well. Just a little fun fact. Why Absolute was a little difficult for a lot of people to learn initially.
The Hive Tyrant is on its way, but there is a horde of Xenos between you and it.
Let's just frag these guys.
Again for the long haul.
I am curious to see what the Horde mode's going to be like in this game. Because that's the big upcoming thing for a lot of people. And while I'm not personally a huge fan of Horde modes in games, if they do make a Horde mode, well, obviously they're making Horde mode, but for the Horde mode in this game, I would like to see endless spawns. Like an actual, like, little wave thing, where it's like, how far can you get? And it just gets progressively more ridiculous. I prefer not to be like, okay, there's 20 waves, and once you get to wave 20, that's it. At that point, it's just a mission. Just a wave-based mission instead of, like, an actual endless defense. And I fucked with Balloon Monkey defense when I was a kid, so I'm all about that endless wave gameplay, you feel me?
You have its attention. It is moving to intercept. Apply more pressure.
If you never played that game, I pity you. Balloon Monkey Tower Defense, a classic, guys. Look it up. Alright. As long as we keep bashing them, we shouldn't lose HP here, though it is a little risky.
Swap to close quarters war gear.
Contested health recovery on the chainsword is excellent on your bash. Though I do feel like some of these perks need a little bit of a rework. Like, there are some perks that are so good in this game that they're basically mandatory that I just feel like they should be passive numbers for the class. Like, instead of wasting your perks on something as boring as, like, you just get more contested health back, and then everybody just takes that, make a more interesting effect, and put that as, like, a base number in the weapon, in my opinion. Ow.
That is one ugly leader beast.
I've never seen such an atrocity.
Okay, shot's ammo.
Give the Hive beast a moment. Detonate the charges now.
Detonate this, move on.
If they move as one, so shall we. Talassa here. We got the Hive Tyrant.
It's not dead. But we blew it up.
Usually once you get down this elevator here, it'll always spawn an Extremis.
The swarm would go feral.
Not always, but it usually does, because all the Extremis cooldowns in this game have like a minimum and maximum time, and even though nothing spawns during the bridge section on this map,
It's still in full effect.
the cooldown
That beast
does
is
count
not
down.
yet dead.
Sounds
And
like
usually
we
the
have
max for a lot of these
hunt,
guys is like
brothers.
900 seconds. So oftentimes you'll hit that cooldown the moment you walk out the store right here.
It is over there, brothers, attempting to claw free.
I guess I'll grab the Gene Seed. Why not? I mean, we're already max prestige in all classes now. Yeah, there it is. We'll just shoot him with the Auspex. Oh. Long. He dies next. Auspex is too good.
Ravin it down.
Kind of want to save the Melta Bomb just in case we get to the Hive Tyrant and need it. They actually kill it, man. The bots in this game really got a buff. They all have relic weapons now. So soloing is definitely easier than it's ever been. Get out of the way, you stupid bot.
Pathetic tyranny.
Walking through the bramble jungle. Okay, let's move on up.
We have it routed.
Pursue and eliminate. We will not have a better opportunity to finish it off.
All specs ready to scan.
Can I hit the Auspex from here? Doesn't look right to me. Is that it?
Activating all specs advanced.
Oh yeah. There it is. Oh.
Another Xenos
That was almost correct. Put a little too far back though, I think. Yeah, look at that sniper go. Look how much damage our plasma pistol does. Jeez. Once we get over that 50% heat, or excuse me, it's 30%, I believe now. For that 50% increased damage, plasma's just too much fun. But man, Tactical absolutely pumps out damage.
Beware its might.
If I was a different class, I might consider melta-bombing those warriors, but this guy can just Auspex parry them. I might melta the zoanthrope though.
Disgusting tyranid scum.
Maybe. I guess it's only 2 of them. It's not too bad.
Silence that vermin squall for more of its foul.
Ow, right in the face. Back at ya.
The zoanthrope psychic hound is silent. Auspex deep scan ready.
I'm saving the Melta Bomb mainly for the boss so we don't get frame trapped. Because the Hive Tyrant itself is a very easy boss fight, but he does occasionally like to spawn warriors on you and they can frame trap you. They catch you in the wave, or at the very least make it very difficult to not get staggered. Like the main way you die against that boss, if you ever die or go down. The actual attacks are very easy to deal with. Once you know the moveset. Same thing with the Trigon, though I haven't practiced him as much.
The hive mind loathes our bit. Another Xenos bioform eliminated. Excuse me. If you require a spot, my Auspex is precisely tuned for target acquisition.
I have not needed someone to mark my targets since I was a scout.
Noted. Wait, Valius. I will attempt
Can
to
your
keep it on the
device
Auspex.
identify the weak points of today's foe?
Alright, final portion here. I doubt we're gonna get anything up here though. We got a horde down here, and they don't usually spawn hordes back to back in this game.
Who shall guide my aim?
Because hordes also have a minimum and maximum cooldown, just like Extremis do.
In pursuit of the
And there's a difference in this game between like base tension and having an actual horde spawn. Where, like occasionally the game will spawn enemies at you and not count it as like an official horde, or the tension of the game will go up depending on how many like enemies are on screen, and that's why sometimes in like a match you might never see a boss because the tension is already too high. Or at least this is what I'm pretty sure. I should say like a caveat. I'm pretty sure the reason that you don't see a boss spawn at times, at least if you just look at the files, is that there's a base tension score in this game. And be like, okay, bosses will only spawn if the tension is like below this threshold. And if you get to a boss spawn trigger point and you're already above that threshold, nothing will spawn.
Zoanthrope, fortify your sight.
I'm sure someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but
Zoanthrope's connection to the hive.
let's go with Bio4 now.
Exterminate. Scanning.
Once you get them Auspex like this, you just kind of body them. There we go. I'll take a ton of damage from Plasma.
We are victorious over the Xenos threat. More of death. It is going up that wall. Let us try to head it off.
I guess I could check for a Guardian Relic here, but I doubt we're ever need that, especially on tactical. Yeah, doesn't even matter. Nothing's there. Let's go on up. One stim at this point, even if we go like into white HP, contested HP, will probably just take us back to full anyways with our 40% increase from the prestige perk. This should be a pretty easy clear. Let's see.
Be ready. We have it now, Brooke. For the glory of Ultramar!
And there's that block damage. That's why block weapons are so damn good. You even get the parry bonus. You get the 50% damage parry bonus on top of your block weapon, on top of the Auspex parry of this class, and you just nuke this guy down. It's basically homeless.
Raw energy readings just shot past fatal levels.
It might have been a waste of my melted bomb though, I'm not gonna lie. Nice try. Eat chunks of your HP gone forever. Good shot from that sniper.
You are fertilizer now, Xenos.
That's all there is to it. Don't really need stems on that class for the most part. Though we could have gotten some like harder extremis spawns, but like even then, like it's pretty hard to die as tactical. I feel like we got like a pretty even split on damage there. We'll see. We shall see. Tactical kind of plays like a hybrid class, even though he could just be pure range. That's probably one of the strongest builds in the entire game right now. Double plasma, slaps. That's really all there is to it, is, you know, you shoot the gun, charge the weapon, shoot the gun, use your Emperor's Vengeance, get your ammo back, shoot gun more, and profit and win. That's why Tactical's the GOAT. Crazy boss damage, crazy extremis kill potential, crazy survivability. Even has increased HP now with his prestige perks. 8,000 XP, certified Gene Seed free. Yep, even split there, like 40,000 damage total. It's pretty standard for like, yeah, you get more like Hormigaunt spawns for sure on that map, but overall, pretty normal. Anyways, guys, like content like this, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, peace. I'll probably make a whole video on this at some point for the build options on this guy. Have a great one.